Hi family, Random Rant here. This one's called crypto. So I know at least I think the first time I forget who it was, but it's way back in way back in 2011. I guess what is that, like 13 years ago? Um, Somebody first mentioned this thing about crypto to me, and I've been looking into it ever since because I don't want to make my mind up about something unless I feel like I've given it a due diligence and research and contemplation and application of common sense. But nonetheless, suffice to say, since that time, many of the people that I associate with uh, believe in the crypto very much. I want to say, the primary motivation for most people is a safe place to another form to store your value of money, while the economic system of the debt-based fiat currency system is systematically dismantled. And so to that, I would say I have an argument, or rather some feedback for the person making that argument to consider. And the second thing that motivates people to get involved in currency is that, apart from being a way to have access to your funds if the banks shut their doors and the ATM machines are out of money and or the currency is devalued, they say, or for whatever reason, it provides them the freedom to continue interacting, bartering, exchanging with other people for whatever goods and services. And every one of them says to me the same thing. I'm talking about guys who are in crypto for a living, guys who have major online presence just with crypto stuff, right? I won't name any names because this is not a judgment thing. I'm just throwing this out there. And if any of you crypto fans want to contemplate, please, I share the following. So first of all, I remember one of my friends, very wealthy guy, very well known all over the world, very much into crypto, has been since it first came on the scene. And he said to me, the one reason why I should consider to invest in crypto is because, well, Bitcoin was his thing back then. And I said, why? And he said, because Bitcoin now is only this much per Bitcoin, but he goes, in the future, it's going to be like $50,000 or $35,000. I forget what he told me, but it was a lot of money for a Bitcoin. And I said, okay, fair enough. I think he told me 50,000. He said it's got the potential to go up to $50,000 per Bitcoin. And I said, fair enough. 50,000 what? What's the value? 50,000 what did you say? What was the word you used after 50,000? And he looked at me like I was kind of crazy because this was way back in, I don't know, 2015 or something like that. And I said, well, it's worth $50,000, right? Isn't that what you said? It's worth $50,000, right? Okay. Or euros or pesos or any one of the debt-based fiat currency systems, which we already know are designed to be dismantled and destroyed, with the currency devaluation and or hyperinflation. So if it costs me $50,000 to buy a loaf of bread, like it did in Weimar, Germany. What was that? What year was that, folks? I can't remember. Was it 1929, 1933, somewhere in there? I think it might have been 1933. And Weimar, Germany, that's where they coined the phrase, it takes a wheelbarrow full of money. You needed a wheelbarrow full of Deutschmarks to go and buy a loaf of bread at the grocery store. That was the level of hyperinflation. No? Don't think that can happen again? Okay, fast forward 60 years and we'll pop into check out the country called Zimbabwe. And what happened in Zimbabwe and the hyperinflation there, which is still ongoing to this day. The last time I checked was about 5 years ago, and you needed 1 trillion. Yes, family, that's right. 1 trillion. That's 1 with 9 zeros behind it. You needed 1 trillion Zimbabwe dollars in order to buy a loaf of bread. So tell me again how much your Bitcoin's going to be worth. And if it's based in a debt-based currency, or if you're operating in an environment that accepts the debt-based currency, whether that's dollars, euros, pesos, whatever it is, won, yen, pounds, whatever, then I don't see the security in that, because like if there's hyperinflation of the currency and devaluation of the currency, or hyperinflation of the prices rather and devaluation of the currency, then in 50,000, that doesn't mean anything to me, right? So that's the first fundamental theoretical issue I have with the idea of the cryptocurrency. Now, the second one is accessibility, because right now, as far as I can tell, and I've been looking into it for 5 years, maybe more, trying to find a platform where I can buy, sell, and or download a wallet to buy, sell, and store cryptos and or buy goods and services with those cryptos. A marketplace where I can find what I need that does not involve me needing to interface with the secret military arranged radar technology device or the smart device, the phone. That's right, family, I said it. It's the most unsecure method of communication known to man. It's called voice over IP, VoIP. I worked with the guy who invented that. It's outside of a military application. It's the world's most unsecured method of communication. And every bloody crypto wallet, exchange, whatever they got out there, all requires you to get your little codes on your little apps and download your apps with the terms and conditions that nobody ever reads. Do you see where I'm going with this, family? And what happens if they say your phone no longer supports this app? You need to buy a new phone, but you can't afford to buy a new phone. Or maybe you broke your phone, huh? Or maybe your phone's in the shop and you can't afford to get it out. Or whatever, fill in the blank. Maybe there's no service. There's no signal like there is at my house 60% of the time or more. Yeah? This is what we would call, from a strategic planner's perspective, this is putting all the risk into one little tiny point of failure, so that if this one thing, this one point, and the whole thing collapses. So don't tell me it's secure, right? So I don't see it as a valuable store of money unless it's going to be valued in alignment with the Swiss franc or the Swedish krona, because as far as I'm aware, and maybe the currency that they use in Iran, I'm not sure who has a sovereign currency anymore. I think that the central banks pretty much took over every corner of the planet, but I know those two the last time I checked, the Swedish krona and the Swiss franc. So that's a little financial intel if you want to start trading in the currency markets. Postscript 2 for folks that get into investing in currency markets and things like commodities and currencies and all that kind of stuff. You might want to know that the United States dollar was secretly removed from the list of basket currencies in the first quarter of 2024. And if you're into investments and markets and you understand business and finance and world trade and stuff like that, you'll know what that means. If you don't, I recommend you find out. But that's my rant on cryptos. I'm just saying, what's it worth? What are you valuing it in? What if the Swiss franc says we don't recognize Bitcoin, so you cannot use it as a marker to bench your value on? What if you can only value, what if they say, I'm just, as a hypothetical. And then the system's designed with the incorporation of your cell phones in order to access your wallets and make transactions? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. the whole infrastructure, not just from a security perspective, from an operational perspective, it is completely vulnerable. So yeah, that's just a side note too for anybody who's banks and credit card companies and stuff like that wants to send you a 2-digit, or what do they call, 2-factor identification? Oh, we just need to send a PIN to your phone. No, this is called denial of service. It's an intentional protocol designed to do just that, to deny service, to deny access to your accounts. It's not for your safety or security. If anybody wants me to discuss more about what is safe and secure and operationally valid when it comes to, like, just say communication networks, let me know and I'll do a video about that. It's not my favorite subject, but I did do that for the alphabet agencies in the above top secret arena for quite a number of years, and worked with all the associated mad scientists who developed this smart phone. Now, stay tuned for more information on the topic. We're going to call it, I can tell you, but I have to kill you. Because for real, it's going to be some stuff. But not until the end of this year, I believe, on Caesar's calendar of fake time. Why? Because of sentient AI, which is another video I will do later. Probably put that under rants. Everything's a rant for me these days, I swear. Have you noticed I've been cussing like a sailor? So forgive me, family. I just want to share this with folks so that we can start to talk about other solutions that are more meaningful. Tangible sovereign currencies that don't have any question as to the value. You know, like greenbacks before the Civil War, the so-called Civil War in the United States. Check that out, greenbacks. And why the so-called marijuana law was passed at the end of the 17th century. The real reason why is because it represented a threat to the central banks. Gosh, I don't know if I can do this. I'm going to try to move, and I'm going to go get this thing real quick. Hopefully I don't hit the camera and knock it over. Bear with me a second, family. I'm going to show you something. I should have had this already. I bumped the camera. See, I knew I would. All right, check it. This is one form of alternative currency. I'm going to hold it up here in front of the screen so you can see that. It's called Tumin, Tumin. I don't know if that's going to show up the right way on the camera or not. But I will try to include in the show notes of this video where you can learn more about Tumin. This is, in theory, is exchanged for debt-based fiat currency called pesos in Mexico. But we need a form of barter and exchange for goods and services that doesn't involve the central banks and their debt-based fiat currency. Enough said for now. Until I see you next time. See you in the dream world. And if anybody wants to talk about crypto and they think, it's secure and safe and a good investment and all that stuff, please share this video with them and ask them to explain from a systems design perspective the security and the operational capability of this thing that's called crypto, and present that material to me in a video format, and then we can go from there. But I don't think anybody's going to take me up on that challenge. Ciao for now.